Hello, today I'm going to be showing Trisquel 5.5. I've been wanting to show this distro for some time, but never got around to completing the editing process. Today I finally managed to wrap things around. I've been looking again at the latest trends with Trisquel, and version 6 was supposed to come out about 2 weeks ago. However, I left links in the description in case you'd like to look into the latest release candidate. There's been some updates and changes because 5.5 has been out since April 16, so it's definitely a number of things have been updated. Trisquel is different than most of the other distributions I've seen. This one's supposed to be solely just on free software as defined by the GNU and Free Software Foundation. You can find it on their indexes of campaigning Linux distros. And I think it's very recommended, in my opinion, because there's only a handful of them. And I think this is the only one that seems to be the most user-friendly in terms of installation and ease of use right out of the box. If you look at I looked at the others, and they seem to be much more tedious in commands and. Okay, so I don't want to go too much elaborated on the intricacies on the difficulty of Linux, but this is one I would recommend for new users. It's very easy to install. Before I head into the demonstration of Trisquel, I will cover a few points here. One is if you'd like to make a USB installer of Trisquel. I haven't tested that, but according to the one of the tools here that I heard is pretty good, called Lili, or short for Linux Live USB. There's many other tools that you can look into and see if it's documented, see if Trisquel is supported. I don't know if the pen drive is good to make a USB Linux installer for Trisquel, but you can check that out, see if it does it. But I know it's documented on one of them. Maybe you, for now, as a new user, you would like to try the ISL burn it straight to a CD. And one easy tool to use on Windows is image burn, and the link is in the description. It's very easy to use the image burn. Pretty much download it, install it, and you click on the button write image file to disk, and it's very simple to use. And that's pretty much all I have to summarize before I get started. Okay, so I am booting up Trisquel, and I'm checking out its menu items. This is for the convenience of advanced users that want to know what Trisquel is without having to download and check it out for themselves, see what the front-end interface provides. But I skim it pretty fast. I don't really go much into it. Right now I'm just checking out the basic programs so that I don't have to check it out later after I install it. You can see pretty much is pretty elegant. Right now I'm ready to install on the Trisquel drive. It's a blank drive, there's nothing on it, but I check out its release notes. By default, the CD, when I booted with it, it was able to detect a network. This is pretty convenient. This is kind of trivial for many of you. You don't have to read a lot of this if you just want to install it with the CD, but it's nice to know that it has nice instructions for Windows. And a lot of other documentation I see out there doesn't have this type of documentation for providing these extra tips for dual booting. I think this is pretty nice. This is pretty straightforward. Username, password. There's a couple of sections just sort of skimming through the nice displays. Some people like to know how this looks when it installs. And it's nice. It's very elegant. Okay, so I'm rebooting. And I'm booting up into the installed Trisquel. And this is what I'm presenting with. GNOME Classic is the default desktop. So this is GNOME Classic. Nice, my network was detected. My sound card was detected. I can make shortcuts by dragging from the menu. I don't have to do any special tweaks like some other distros when it comes to GNOME Classic. That's very nice. It's all nicely laid out. I have my Synaptic Package Manager. That was one thing I like to check to see if the repositories are set properly. So I'm probably going to check that. I was just checking the desktop to see if the desktop saved the settings. And my icons are still there on the desktop. This was just a quick test. You could probably tell that sometimes I'm testing things, and that's what I do sometimes. I see how stable it is, because I never tried this distro before. So I'm going to see if I can install Chrome. This is one of the things that some people like to do. They like to try out. Before I do that, I'm testing Flash to see how well Flash is supported on the current web browser. So installed, and I see it in the menu. So that wasn't too hard. Now there's something I have to say. When you want to make the default for a Meta-like launcher, like you'll see here in a short bit, you'd have to set it to a different web browser than the A browser. So if you click on the Meta, you'll see what I mean by Meta icon. See that icon right there? Now it launches Chrome. That's what I meant. That points to www-browser, which is a symlink to your preferences. So you might be a little concerned about that, but you don't really have to. You can just simply use the Chrome icon and then delete the Meta icon if you want. So it's nice, it works. Flash works. I'm just demonstrating the limitation of the default Flash player, which is not actually Adobe's Flash, but the open source Nash. And you'll see that it's problematic. So this is one reason why I like to install Chrome, because it comes bundled with the latest Flash. But you know, this operating system is only meant for free. It's only meant to come with free parts. So it's a reason why Nash comes bundled with it. So I just try to demonstrate my point. It works probably for one or two sites very well, the most popular sites like YouTube. But if you see other sites that use Flash, it won't work with it. But it's up to you. You can also use Chromium and use the, you know, it's starting to get a little bit confusing for some of you, but you can look into it. You can also use Chromium with the latest Flash, but the latest Flash is not coming from Adobe anymore. It's coming from Google's Chrome. And I'm going to be putting up a note about this, like I do with all my other videos. The latest you can use is 11.2 with Firefox. And if you want, that's the Adobe. And the only thing Adobe is doing is releasing security patches for 11.2. So if you want the latest for Chromium, you're going to have to use the, I'll put the details because it's getting a little confusing for some new users. And if you're interested, the easiest way to do it is to simply install Chrome like I demonstrate. If you want to use the Google's Chrome Flash with Chromium, it takes a little bit more steps and it's not as easy to set it up. But pretty much it's a double click to install it. You download it, you double click Chrome, and you have the latest Flash. Yeah, some of you you're gonna say, you know, Flash is, you never use it, but there's a lot of people that still want to use it, so that's why I mentioned it. Hopefully it's going to be replaced within the next year or so, just by plain HTML5. Everybody would go plain HTML. That's what I like to see. So I'm going to test some other main menu logon entries. See what I get with this. Well, that's a little bit of a downer. That option doesn't work. What about that option? I'm just seeing if it works. Yeah, the menu items show up, and the packet manager is right there. It's essential to know where it is. Now here's a problem I came across this Trisquel distro, that it won't install the GNOME full suite. Uh, it was actually a conflict if you want to install it. It goes more than that. There are probably other packages where it would conflict with its basic interface package. And I didn't go into that too much, but I demonstrate one of the problems. It was this. Now the Q&A on this distro, I don't know fully, but this is one particular thing that I don't think a lot of new users are going to be looking into, but this is something that I look into as giving it a grade on how quality tested it is. But it's not really a big issue because I don't think a lot of people, if they're new to Linux and are trying this out, that they're going to be wanting to change the desktop right away. But this is just a note for some of you that it's normal to have that problem with that other, not a problem really, but it's just a lingering option that you have on the logon there with the open box. That's not a really critical problem. Well, that was a basic installation demo. Hope it wasn't too complex for some of you. And I hope your experience trying out Linux is a good one. Until next time.